The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "There was a rich man who had a manager, and charges were brought to him that the manager was squandering his property. So the rich man summoned him and said to him, 'What is this that I hear about you? Give me an accounting of your management, because you cannot be my manager any longer.' Then the manager said to himself, 'What will I do, now that my master is taking the position away from me? I am not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I have decided what to do so that when I am dismissed as manager, people may welcome me into their homes.' So summoning his master's debtors one by one, he asked the first, 'How much do you owe my master?' He answered, 100 jugs of olive oil.' He said to him, 'Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 50. Then he asked another, 'How much do you owe?' He replied, 100 containers of wheat.' He said to him, 'Take your bill and make it 80. And his master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the children of this age are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than are the children of light. And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into the eternal homes. Whoever is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much. And whoever is dishonest in a very little is dishonest also in much. If then you have not been faithful with the dishonest wealth, who will entrust to you the riches, the true riches? And if you have not been faithful with what belongs to another, who will give you what is your own? No slave can serve two masters, for a slave will either hate the one and love the other, or be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, I want to invite you to think about our liturgical year as your entire life. This journey from the beginning to the end. And by the beginning, we're going to talk about receiving Jesus Christ. So the beginning of our liturgical year, we're preparing ourselves to receive Jesus, and we received him at our baptism. Somewhere along the way, we learn and believe and come to proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord. And his resurrection, we determined, was for our very selves. Each of us individually learned that Jesus died for me. So this journey through ordinary time is instruction. As we move through our daily lives, where do your loyalties lie? Do you want to be caught working, doing the master's work when he comes home? Do you hate your father and mother and love the Lord more? Are you going to put them ahead of him? And today, how do we behave in business? We'll measure out less and sell it for more. Sounds like our grocery stores these days. We're challenged to survive economically, and some turn to cheating. It's a very difficult game to play. And the dishonest manager is very shrewd. He gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and instead of seeking forgiveness, he continues in his evil ways. Makes deals with people so they'll take him in at the end after he loses his job. Make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you. not Jesus. We are called to integrate Jesus Christ into our daily lives. Jesus Christ did not die, descend to the dead, rise on the third day, and ascend to heaven so we can attend Mass on Sunday. We come here to be fed. We come here to be converted. And we come here to be sent out into the world to continue to do the Lord's work, that he gave us this mission to spread the good news, to feed the hungry, to visit the sick. This is what we're called to do. As I went through formation to become a deacon, there was always this question about integration. How are you going to be a deacon in your life? How do I be a deacon at work? How do I be a deacon at home? Well, it's not so much a deacon as much as it is a disciple of Christ. The people that work here and volunteer here are not volunteers. They're disciples of Christ who have enacted the gifts that the Holy Spirit has given them. They are very much living their calling through the Holy Spirit. We need to examine ourselves and see where our calling lies and see where we're enacting it. The dishonest manager could have pled for forgiveness. And this is one of the gifts that Jesus gave us, along with his body, is the gift of forgiveness. We can feel the conviction of the Holy Spirit in our lives, and that's when we must turn to Jesus and ask forgiveness and not carry on in our evil ways. There was a monk who was walking through the woods with his acolytes, and they were debating the impact of habits. And this young acolyte was arguing with him. And he said, "See that small tree there? It was a little oak sapling." He said, "Pull it out." And the young man bent down and pulled it out with 2 fingers. As they were walking along, he encountered a larger sapling. He said, "Pull that sapling out." And it took 2 hands to pull it out. And as they went along, he found a larger one. He said, "Pull this out." And with great effort, the young man uprooted the tree. And then they went along and found a tree that he needed all of his friends to uproot. All of his acolyte friends leaned into it and uprooted the tree. And finally they came to a tree that they could not uproot. And the master said to them, "This is what habit is. If you let it take root in your life, it will become more and more difficult to uproot." And this manager was deeply rooted in sin. We need to take small steps to turn from these habits. Small steps, one at a time. And when we fail, we turn back to Christ for forgiveness. We come back to the Eucharist for conversion. And we go out to do it again and try again and do better this time. As we come forward to the Eucharist, let us invite Christ into our hearts so that we may be converted. This isn't something to do and leave and go carry on as it was. This is this encounter with Christ. Heaven and earth are going to touch upon this altar, and we will be changed if we allow it.